Hello, 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 everybody. How is everybody doing on a Sunday evening? How is everybody doing? Give me a hi if you're watching me live or on a replay. I would love to interact with you. And today we are talking about how to ditch the fear of failing. So we are having this mini workshop. We have a mini training of sorts wherein we're going to be discussing how to ditch the fear of failing. All right. So I am just going to fix my screen here and see if I'm going live inside the Facebook group. All right. It all looks nice and I can see your comments. Okay. So now these are these weekly trainings that we often talk about mindsets, we talk about heart sets, we talk about marketing and building and growing your heart-centered business. All right. I can see Madhvi, Neeta. Hi, Neeta. Hi, Madhvi. So in the last Friday training, we had a guest who talked about how to sell through stories, how to write content that sells stories. So if you haven't checked it out for any reason, I highly suggest you check that out inside the Facebook group. It was really valuable. And today we are talking about how to ditch our fears that hold us back, how to win over our fears of failing. All right. So now, if you are catching me up for the very first time, I'm Latika, the facilitator of this awesome tribe and the founder of Passion to Profit Lab. I help service-based entrepreneurs create easy and joyful marketing method that gets them clients. All right. And I'm hosting a free challenge called Strangers to Clients in the next weekend. I'm dropping the link in the comments for you to block your calendars and RSVP. And please note, it's the most transformational challenge, free challenge ever. Okay. All right. So I hope you have a pen and paper with you to make heaps of notes, because we are going to be discussing a lot of things which I feel that you should implement right away, and make notes, because that will really help. Okay. The three things broadly that we're going to be talking about. Okay. One is, what is fear? Okay. And why is it really important to address the fear? And the 3-step process to release those fears. Okay. All right. Now, tell me in the chat if there's a fear of anything that has held you back. If there has been a fear of anything that has held you back, you can simply write it on the paper. You can also tell me in the chat if you like, if you feel comfortable. Okay. Now, fear of many things have held me back. Now, but over the time, I have realized one thing, and I'll tell you in the process of this training, that fear is normal. I want you to write it down and say it aloud, that fear is normal. You have to expect fear. It's going to happen. And I have coached many women entrepreneurs who miss out on these huge opportunities, not because they get scared, but also because they think that the fear that they're having, it means that they are doing something wrong. You know, does it happen with you? In fact, the truth is, it means just the opposite. Fear is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It's a sign that you are doing something new. Okay. It doesn't matter that you are not capable, qualified, or ready. It just means that you are doing something that matters to you. And fear does not mean that you're doing something bad. It just means that you're doing something which is bold or new. Now, you know what happens with fears? Fears limit our lives. The bigger our fear is, the smaller our life becomes. And I'm going to see the comments on the Facebook here. So the fear limits our lives. I have certain comments here. Let me just pin the screen here so that okay. All right. So you're talking about that the bigger your fear is, the smaller your life is. If you're scared of, let's say, heights, you will always stay low. If you're scared of, let's say, outdoors, many people are, you will always stay indoors. If you're scared of failure, you will never try anything, right? So what happens is fear wants you to live a small life, but the God, the universe, the source, whoever you believe in, did not create us or call us to live a small life, isn't it? God wants us to have a life and have it abundantly. So this is a thing that I always feel, that you will always have new levels and new devils. New levels, new devils. If you, even if you conquer your fear of doing one thing, the moment you try something else, something new, and you push your limits or take on a new challenge, you are going to again have a complete new set of fears that come with it. So new levels, new devils, right? So the bad news is that you will probably have some level of fear with you for the rest of your life. But the great news is that it doesn't have to stop you from doing the things that you want to do. Okay? So let me give you an example here, what I mean by that. And if that doesn't motivate you, I do not know what will. Hi, Aparna. Hi, Surendra Swanlata. All right, so let me give you an example here. A few years back, I had goosebumps if I had to speak with an audience of more than 2 people. Yeah, you heard it right. And today, so I used to have goosebumps if I have to speak with an audience of more than 2 people, and that's right. And today, in my programs, in my Marketing Made Easy program, I teach people how to go live like a superstar. Can you see the shift here? So I used to have goosebumps, but I had these really big dreams to achieve. And the only way for me to achieve those dreams and conquer those dreams was if I plunged myself, into speaking. And so I spoke in front of 100 people. I then spoke in front of 200 people, and then 500. And then it was okay. And then there was a next fear that I started having, and that was the fear of going live, because live was the next new thing on social media. So, and it was a must have. If you don't go live, you will not have enough reach if you are having your business online. So facing your fears and having a little bit of cope up mechanism by your side works. Let's say what I mean by cope up mechanism is, let's say you completely goof up. You face your fears and you somehow goof up. Then what would you do? You need to have a little bit of cope up mechanism. For example, for all these speaking gigs, wherein I was speaking to a larger audience of 100, 200 people. In my very first speaking gig, I did a little exercise to get some enthu. That was my first cope up mechanism. Secondly, I had a friend and a colleague by my side to take care of the rest of the speech because he was equally competent. And for my other speeches, I had pointers and notes in front of me. If I falter, I have a guide, right? And now there is technology that I make use to, if in case I falter, to get more confidence and counter my fears. So there always are now cope-up mechanisms, but it's not a plan B, it's a cope-up mechanism, okay? Now, another fear that you may have is the fear of what we call as imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, give me a yes if you resonate with me on this. Have you felt imposter syndrome before? Imposter syndrome is, I am not good enough. Yeah, imposter syndrome is, I'm not good enough. Madhavi, you are muted and everybody is muted. So I can't hear you, but I can read your messages. So you can chat. Imposter syndrome is, I'm not good enough. So now I'm going to tell you a very interesting thing. The interesting thing is, and it's very ironical, those who suffer from imposter syndrome are high achievers. Someone sitting on the couch all day, eating Cheetos and watching TV, doesn't really wonder if they are performing up to standard. They don't get imposter syndrome. It's the people who are on the front lines, who are the movers and shakers, who are the change makers, who are making the difference in other people's lives, are the ones who suffer from imposter syndrome. And to give you an example of this, everybody knows Kate Winslet, right? The Titanic actress. Now, Kate Winslet once shared, and she is an award-winning actress, that I would wake up in the morning before going off a shoot and I think, I can't do it. I feel like a fraud. So the idea is that even she used to get scared. She shared her imposter syndrome. And she did that because she wanted to tell people that everybody feels that way. And you feel that way, that's a good sign that you are really making a difference. If you feel this way, that means you are meant for big things. Okay? Now, the other side of the fear, let's look at what is the other side of the fear. And everybody knows the other side of the fear is where the magic happens. Now, if I stayed scared and never took the plunge to start talking to large numbers, I would have never been doing this live also. And it would have been so much injustice to my life and your life also. So here's a little exercise that you can do with me, okay? We're gonna make two columns, lie and the truth, okay? Our mind tells us these lies because it wants us to be safe all the time. So we're gonna make two columns. One is the lie column. The second is the truth column, okay? Hi, Sachin. Thank you, Sachin. So the first lie is, you are not good enough. So the voice in your head says, you're not good enough, Latika. So write the truth. How would you address the truth? Write your own truth. I would say to that voice, you don't have to be the best to add value. Okay? Second lie. The lie will tell you, oh, don't do this right now. Don't do this workshop right now. Don't launch this service right now. You're not ready. You're not ready. So what's the truth? The truth that I would say to this voice, and you can write your own truth. There is no such thing as ready. You're never ready. Ready is a relative term. Life is all about learning. So there is no such thing as ready. I will be always evolving, but I'll be better than yesterday. Third lie. Third lie is, your mind will say, oh, somebody is doing already better than me. I want to start this business, but there's so many people doing the same thing. Why would anybody buy from me? Someone is already doing better. So your response to that lie could be, there's room for me too. There's room for everybody. There are so many stars in the sky. There are millions of stars in the sky, but every star shines. True? Now remember, doing is better than thinking. Doing is better than thinking. So when it comes to fear, do it once, do it scared, and talk it out to yourself. Okay? Now let's come to the second point, addressing the fear. So we learned what is fear. Now let's understand addressing the fear. Now, you can already now guess why addressing fear is important, right? We have to address fear because if we don't address the fear and stay in our comfort zones, and the magic and all the amazing things happen, where do they happen? They happen outside the comfort zone. So they will not happen to us. And too often we just fail to do anything with our ideas. So one reason is that we fear failure is that, I think it's well to remember that mistakes are the stepping stones to success. The success never comes to or crowns anybody who do not ever try. Do you agree with me on that? The point is that to be productive, your ideas must be implemented, right? And you basically take action. Okay. Now comes the most difficult part. When you're talking about addressing the fear, the difficult part is that now what we're doing is we're trying to form a new habit. Okay. And habits are not easily formed. So what we're doing is, in this new habit of addressing fear, we're going to address and recognize these fears, and we're going to counter these fears. We are also going to stop thinking about these fears. Each time a new fearful or a negative thought comes into your consciousness, you replace it with a mental picture of your positive and your worthwhile goal. Okay? And positive and worthwhile goal, and there will be times when you feel like giving up. And that happens, right? Because of fear, we sometimes feel like giving up. And it's easier for human being to think negatively than positively. Now, that's another very common thing that happens with us. That's why only 5% people are successful. So we want to be in that 5% group. So here's an exercise for you. For the next 30 days, you must take control of your mind. It will think only about what you permit to think. So recognize your fear patterns, and either you alter them, address them, recognize them, and counter them. And if they come too often, you stop thinking about them. You counter them, and it'll be automatically wipe off. All right, the third exercise. How to win over the fears. Now, this is a 3-step process, and I think we've already kind of discussed. And again, pen and paper time. So the 3-step process here is like we just did almost in the first exercise by writing 2 columns, lie and truth. So the 3-step process is acknowledge, address, and release. Okay, so take a pen and notebook and write all the fears that you think stop you from doing anything or make you do something that you don't like. Any fear that make you small. Okay, now as they come to you, you become aware of each unhelpful thought pattern, such as I don't have enough time to implement my idea. If I go for this, I will have to sacrifice a lot. I may fail. Write all your fears on this piece of paper. Now, acknowledge that this fear is just an indication that this thought is a lie. That this thought is a lie. Acknowledge that this thought is not real. And it is not the only option. This is not the only option. If that fear thought that you're getting, firstly, it's just a thought that is not real, it's a lie, and it is not the only option. And it is simply an energy. Now you say to yourself that, hey, fear, I see you, I acknowledge you, and I release you. And as I release you, and make a second column next to these list of fears and write the corresponding thought to address it, just like we did a while back. So again, the thought says, you write your own fears, and I'm giving you an example here. The thought can say, one of the fearful thought can say, no one will buy from me, no one buys from me, or no one will buy from me. Or so your counter thought would be, what I offer is really going to transform them. There's no reason why no one would want what I have to offer. I just need to offer the right audience. Okay. Now, then another thought will come. And after, when you counter the thought, when you counter your fearful thought, another new fear will come. So, for example, I fear that I will lose money. So, how would you address it? You know, even the addressal will come from within. And I'm here just to guide you, give you an example. The addressal here could be, money is an infinite source. Giving and receiving is a natural law of life. My investments will help me create more financial abundance. Right? Okay. Third fear could be, I fear I'll not be supported. So the counter thought can be, if they love me, they will understand me. Yeah. Or I can be, can be more eloquent when I have to explain myself. I can try to explain myself more better. I can empathize and say things like that. So fears, and you write a counter thought. So now see this paper with fears written on it, and it is disappearing into the distance or being burnt on fire, whatever suits you. For me, I write down my fear and I write my counter thoughts. That's all. For some of the people, you can just see and then visualize that fear is going away. But really, when you do this exercise of making these two columns, the fear and the counter thought, it is really so helpful. Okay, so the process is acknowledging and releasing with each fear that surfaces. This activity is really so powerful, and I'm not sure if you're finding it this powerful right now or not, but I really encourage you to try out this activity. I want you to do this exercise today as soon as you end this training or just before sleeping tonight. And you are going to get so much empowered if you do this. And you come back to this video and comment and tell me if it really helped you. Okay. Now, before I let you go, let me see if there are any questions. Hi, Nidhi, how are you? So, okay, before I let you go, I'll make sure that you have registered and are participating in the Strangers to Clients Challenge on the 9th and 10th of October, 4 to 5. Sorry, the timings have changed, right? It's 11 to 12:30 p.m. in the morning. And in these 2 days of Strangers to Clients Challenge, we will be discussing and having hands-on training. I'll be sharing a lot of slides. You will have worksheets, workbooks, prizes and all of that. We will be discussing and having hands-on training on unlocking your business and life growth. We would be learning and implementing in our business the 3-step process for soul client attraction process. Okay. And thirdly, we'll also learn how to create unlimited content, easy content, and for marketing. And we will also learn how to make our marketing and selling really joyful and easy. Okay, I'm dropping the link in the comments for you to RSVP. Okay, thank you so much for watching this training. Feel free to send me DMs if you have any queries, and I would love to address those to you. Have a wonderful weekend ahead, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.